Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And this is a redo of this video because there's more information that has come out. We're going to talk about this guy in Norway who was arrested for playing an anime game. And the story was that was all that's going on. It appears that there's more than that going on, which is what led to his arrest for playing this video game. Now, look, I'm not going to sign off on this game and its contents in any level, but the game has been out for 10 years. It's actually available. I think you can download it in the U.S. In Norway, it's considered illegal, and that's,
it's abuse material.
It's considered abuse material. You're not allowed to even play this game. You can be arrested for it, but there is actually more to it than that, and we're going to talk about that. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so here's the thing. A lot of people talking about this because it's really... it was a very odd situation to see some guy in Norway get arrested for playing a game. And we're like, oh my God, this is some major censorship, especially since the game is old. It's been around for,
well, I mean,
years.
Again, just because we think it's stupid in our country doesn't mean that they have different rules and different things that are acceptable in their country. And I'm not going to tell them what they can or can't find acceptable. But, basically this kid's it's clearly known that this character is underage. And they said 6 of the 7 game modes are result in sexual contact.
Yes. Yeah. So this game is, and I'm probably going to mangle this, I'm sure I will. Dorei Tuno Seikatsu, Life with a Slave. It's a visual novel about caring for a young girl who's been abused by her former owner. The player can choose between 7 modes, 6 of which contain, sexual content. See also like every other Japanese, visual
but
novel.
this one they're specifically, saying that this person's, underage.
Right. This reminds me, there's actually a banned movie. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It was about a girl that joins a circus, and it was so awful that it's been banned in multiple countries. But I digress. So, the initial story dropped, and everybody was out there, and they were like, hey, this is ridiculous that you can be arrested for playing a video game. They're fictional characters. It's gross. But
3 years in prison, up to
3 years in prison. Well, if you read between the lines here, and you got to wait in this article until you get about 3/4 of the way down, there's actually more to it than that, because the reason they found out about the game was that they got a tip-off from the U.S. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and they traced an IP address to his house in Norway. And then the officers raided his home. They seized his computer and discovered this game along with other illegal files.
Right. So they were tipped off. It wasn't like they just happened to find it. Because how'd they know? Well, they knew because they were sent there. But here's the thing. It's got to be more than that, because if they're bringing in the national whatever for exploited children, they had to have known there was probably files they were tracking, and that he was bringing, and he had access to those files or download those files, and they're probably ones that they were flagging, and he probably put things on his computer he shouldn't have had.
Yeah, well, that's, and we got about 3/4 of the way into this, and Geeky's like, wait a minute, wait a damn minute. When
I saw that,
he's not exactly blameless in this. I mean, if it were just a case of, and there have been cases like that. I've read some cases where people had, visual novels on their phones or whatever, and they went to another country and was like, oh my gosh, you've got, porn on. And I'm like, it's a cartoon character. Stuff's pretty gross sometimes, right? But it's like, you're not dealing with real people. Well, in this case, it looks like they might have actually been dealing with real abuse material, and the game is just another reason they can,
they found that, and among other things, because they said other illegal files, which could be other games, we don't know. But the Center for National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, they don't just call Norway and tell them about something that's going on over a video game that's available and has been available for 10 years.
Yeah,
there had to be something much worse than that, in my opinion, for them to tipping off the police.
So this is coming from Norwegian. I take it from Norway. This is a translated version of the information that's coming to light. They said the tip was sent to, and I don't know, I can't pronounce half these Scandinavian names. I'm sorry, guys. I've even got Scandinavian blood. I'm like a quarter Scandinavian, and I don't even know. Yeah. My grandfather would be very disappointed in me. But as a Kripos Kripos, which was forwarded to the Southwest Police District. Okay. And in court, the defendant explained that in order to help others, he had shared several images and films without checking what they were. He denied that he had intentionally shared images and films that sexualized children or depicted child sexual abuse. That's what it was. It was abuse material.
Wait. To help others?
To help others, I'm going to send you.
I downloaded stuff but I didn't look at.
How are you helping others?
I'm holding this for Fred. I didn't inhale. This doesn't make any sense.
There were many pictures and films the young man shared, but the material was crude, according to the verdict. He didn't know what he was sharing, he said, but so they can get him on. Basically, what it sounds like to me is this guy was sharing actual abuse material, but they could only really get him with the video game. That doesn't make any sense. Sounds to me.
That doesn't make any sense. If they have laws against abuse material, that doesn't make any sense either. None of this makes sense.
I don't know.
They're tipped off by, the U.S. Center for Missing and Exploiting Children. Then there's got to be more to it than a video game. But I didn't look at it. I was just doing it for the greater good. It's like people I was looking at kiddie porn to help write a book about it. It's like,
well, okay. So let's, I guess if we're going to talk about that stuff, people that, and it's come out many times that people that are into that kind of stuff put themselves in positions of power, organizations that are like anti-kiddie stuff, and they do it because they want to have access to the kiddie stuff, and they don't think people are going to know, oh, well, obviously, they're just trying to help. They're going to try to stop. And it's like, no, really, they're like, hey, all you can eat buffet of naughty stuff, and you can technically look at legally because you're there to help, right? But they're like, they said he was playing the game on his PC. The game is from 2015. In short, it's about taking care of an orphan. Modes 1 to 6 contain abuse, and mode 0 is without abuse. In court, the defendant explained he had played the game in mode 0. The court assumes this. However, the court does not believe the young man was unaware that child abuse was an option in the game. The game was reviewed in court, where the court could clearly see the comments that came even when starting the game in mode 0. When starting in 0, the player is informed in this mode is not possible to play out sexual situations. This clearly shows it's possible to play it out in the other modes. So look, this is a whole.
About the game though, so I don't know if maybe there were files that were attached to the game that he downloaded and didn't know. Maybe he got the game off the internet and there were some things on it that flagged them. Like there was some, it was like a part of a package. You didn't know you were downloading this whole package, which is possible, I guess.
I guess
I'm just trying to figure out because this doesn't make sense.
Something else is going on here, but we'll talk about that. So regardless of what this guy had on his hard drive, beyond the game itself, it is curious that Norway is one of the few countries that actually outlaws games like this. So the police investigator described this game as a vulgar Tamagotchi. That's pretty much every other visual novel, noting that it's easily accessible online, so you have to go out of his way to find it. Legislation in Asia is liberal when it comes to animations. This game is completely legal in several countries. In Norway, it's considered a crime. For some people, it can be difficult to understand that this is regarded as illegal material here. The man could face a maximum sentence of 3 years in prison. Prosecutors say it's unlikely to reach that length due to the slow handling of the case. It's not the first time Norway has prosecuted someone over similar material. Okay, this is the one I think this is one I heard about. In August, another man was sentenced to 3 months in jail after police found illegal videos in a video game that sexualized children on his phone. So they're not messing around over there with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but how they found him, was it because they just happened we're just going after anybody who might have a video game? It just sounds like they found him because there was something else going on, because they don't alert Norwegian authorities, I don't think, over a download of this game unless there was something else attached to it or something else was done at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So this is, there's some back and forth on here. And look, I don't know the whole situation. I'm not going to pretend to know the whole situation. I just know a lot of people are talking about it because they're like, man, this is an extreme case of censorship. And it does seem like there's more going on. This person here, Shizu, says the article, or at least the translation, makes zero difference between the content of the game and the real images. Based on the sentence alone, you can deduct there were no real images involved. There's no way he would only get 60 days if he uploaded real illegal stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to get I'm very confused. But then why would it trigger an investigation from the Center for Exploited Children here?
Yeah, because again, we're dealing with cartoon characters. The game is available in the U.S. too. It's available in Japan. I mean, they're going to tell you, hey, it's
why would they
dirty stuff, but
alert the authorities to go after him?
Well, okay, so that's where they kind of push back here. And it could be something got lost in translation.
Well, that's what I'm thinking is going on, because I'm very confused right now.
Norwegian here says, I'm taking it's mostly from this. Feels like they would lean more in the game itself if the game was the main issue. This is a bit right here. It says that in court, the client is sentenced to 60 days in prison. In sentencing, the court places the most emphasis on 10 illegal photos and films the young man has shared. At the same time, it emphasized it is illegal to play the PC game that he's admitted to playing. So they're leading with the game, but it seems like you were saying the other stuff is what is causing the issue. This person, Black White Weeb, says it can't be, a lot of weebs, it can't be inferred from the snippet alone that the charges were exclusively for teaching feeling, even though its machine translation is clearly referring to real photos. And Norwegian said, my thoughts exactly. The court believes the game alone would have been a penalty, but the young man had also shared very gross abuse material. So yeah, the maximum is 3 years, but he's going to get 2 months. Yeah, so that's what it sounds like. A lot of things are getting lost in translation here, and it's because it is more sensational to say a guy got arrested and fined
3 years for
is going to prison for 3 years over an anime video game. That's more sensational
than 2 months. See, to me, the images couldn't be that terrible, or they wouldn't be. It would be more than 2 months, I would think. I don't know. That's very confusing. But I'm not familiar with Norwegian law, so. But there's definitely more to it than just the game.
That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, this person here said, I like cats. There we go. Kitty Cat says, I assume he did share real pictures, as it says over the phone. Those agencies for missing and exploited children usually search for people who share real images. And like you're saying, that stuff is like tagged or something, so they know.
That's what I think they do. I think they have bait and stuff out there too. That if you're sharing it or you're getting it,
literally is jailbait.
I mean, they do. I mean, they do different things. They have different things different files they follow, different things so they can catch people. So he probably just got something that was being tracked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, because they're not going to call Norway and say you need to raid this guy's house over this video game that's, they're not going to
10 years old. And it's gross.
It's legal in some places and not in others. They're not going to call them up and say, hey, this guy's got this game. I really doubt that.
That's like, so there is more to it, but it is a very interesting turn of events that's what's making headlines because of that.
The game, but there's got to be more to it.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.